today I want to talk about the effect that the coronavirus is having on the ski industry right now. This outbreak, this virus is getting worse and worse on a daily basis. And it's now in something like 110 countries. So authorities have a huge challenge on their hand, and they have to deal with the threat of the virus coming in from outside the country, whilst they also have the threat of it spreading within their country. So the measures that they are introducing are weighing up, first of all, the threat to loss of life, which is huge, understandably, but then also the economic threat to the global economy, which has already taken a massive hit. And in the context of the travel industry in particular, global travel has ground to a halt. Some airlines have seen bookings drop off by 70 to 80%. And unfortunately, some airlines, some companies just cannot survive that. Flybe was the first casualty of the coronavirus. It wasn't the full reason why Flybe cancelled, but why they shut down, but it was the final straw. There is a genuine fear amongst some of the major airlines, some of the tour operators, that they're not going to be able to survive this. Now, let's talk about the ski industry in particular. You go down smaller than that. Small businesses right now are absolutely terrified, because what has happened with all these new measures, which the government is damned if they do, damned if they don't in these situations. It's brought the ski season to a halt, to a closure almost, nearly a month early in some countries. Italy now is completely shut. There's nothing running. And for the last week, there's been all these restrictive measures as well about, when restaurants and bars can open. Social distancing, that's been a buzzword over the last few days. No sort of real mass gatherings. So I don't want to take anything away from the fact that, there are people who are at serious risk, age brackets, people's families are at risk. The threat to loss of life is very, very important. But I want to talk about the economics, not that I'm an expert, but just how it's generally affecting people within these resorts, because they only have a short period of time, most of them, where they can actually earn enough, within a calendar year. Winter's 4-5 months at most. And so you think about these small chalet companies, you think about the ski instructor companies that employ all these people across Europe and within their own countries, and the income has just stopped. It's fallen off the cliff. And that is huge, because the ski industry is going through so many challenges as it is right now. What with Brexit and climate change, there's a massive change and new things that are needing to emerge within that market for it to be sustainable and for it to survive and grow. All that has to be figured out. And the coronavirus is something which nobody foreseen, no one will have been able to have planned financially for, planned their livelihoods, their daily activities around. I mean, there's a big problem or big debate in the UK right now about what are we taking the right measures. We're kind of like delaying it a bit. We're kind of banking on our spike or our large cases being around summertime, wherein our health service can cope. But places like Italy, they've been under siege now for weeks. And over the border in Austria, for about the last week, they were restricting movement between the two countries. And then literally, I think it was early hours of Friday morning, maybe late Thursday night, the Tyrol region shut all their ski resorts, and most of Austria's skiing is within the Tyrol. So, to my knowledge right now, France is still okay. I'm not aware of any big closures. If you're on the French side of the Mont Blanc tunnel, I think you're fine, but I'm going to sort of play common sense and hedge my bets to say that that probably might not last much longer. If there's a spike in confirmed cases in, say, Geneva or Lyon or somewhere like that, then, you know, ski resorts are going to have to, the authorities in those regions are going to have to take serious considerations into whether they should. You know, global sport has ground to a halt. So it's a really, really big deal. And I know I said in the other video about this stuff about, you know, this panic rushing to the supermarkets. I mean, that's crazy. But you understand when associations and authorities have to take these decisions because of the risk to the life. But then there's automatically an economic impact, and there's only so much relaxing of taxes and rates that governments can do that are going to help. We will lose more companies to this. And who knows what the ski industry will turn out like. There's a campaign right now that I've seen online where they're sort of encouraging people, when they decide to go for their holidays next year, choose Italy, because they really want to give their economics a boost, you know, to help those ski resorts that will have had basically nothing coming in, you know, to help those people that would have been financially struggling. So it's very, very difficult, and all we can kind of do is hope that soon these measures in place start to see positive results. But right now it's at a very tough period.